When the mind is restless, even a palace feels empty. When the mind is still, even a simple hut becomes a place of abundance. True fortune does not begin outside in the world of form and possession. It begins within the silent chambers of awareness, where thoughts rise and fall, like waves upon an endless ocean. Inner peace is not the absence of life's storms, but the ability to remain steady within them, just as a mountain does not move when winds pass over it. A mind rooted in understanding does not collapse under praise or blame, gain or loss, comfort or discomfort. This stability becomes the first form of true luck. Not the luck of chance, but the luck of clarity. Outer fortune is often misunderstood as the accumulation of wealth, recognition, or favorable circumstances. Yet such fortune is fragile, shifting with time and condition. What is gained can be lost. What is built can decay. But when inner peace is cultivated, even loss does not feel like destruction, and change does not feel like suffering. Instead, life becomes a flow to be understood, rather than a burden to be resisted. The wise do not chase luck as something outside themselves. They cultivate the soil within, just as a farmer does not command the rain, but prepares the earth. One does not control every outcome, but prepares the mind through right intention, right speech, and right action. When these are aligned, life begins to respond differently. Not because the world has changed, but because perception has become clear. Much suffering arises from grasping. The mind clings to what is pleasant and rejects what is unpleasant, forgetting that both are temporary visitors. When grasping is loosened, space is created. In that space, peace arises naturally, like fragrance from a flower that does not try to smell sweet. From that peace, a subtle form of fortune begins to unfold. Opportunities are seen more clearly, relationships become less burdened, and decisions are made with wisdom rather than fear. True fortune begins within the mind. Outer success is unstable, but inner peace creates lasting stability and clarity. True fortune does not begin in the outer world of events, possessions, or chance occurrences. It begins in the quiet depth of the mind, where awareness rests without disturbance. When the mind is unsettled, even abundance feels incomplete, and every gain is shadowed by fear of loss. But when inner peace is established, even the simplest moment carries a sense of fulfillment that cannot be taken away by changing condition. Inner peace is the ability to remain undisturbed amid life's shifting experiences. It does not mean that difficulties disappear, but that the mind learns not to be shaken by them, just as deep waters remain still beneath surface waves. A calm mind stays grounded, even when thoughts and emotions rise and fall. This stability is the foundation upon which true fortune is built, because clarity allows life to be seen as it is, without distortion from fear or desire. Outer fortune, by contrast, depends on circumstances that are constantly changing. Wealth can be lost, relationships can shift, and opportunities can come and go without warning. If happiness depends solely on these external factors, then peace will always remain fragile. However, when inner stability is present, even unfavorable situations become manageable, and challenges begin to transform into opportunities for growth. Much of human struggle comes from attachment, holding tightly to what is pleasant and resisting what is unpleasant. This constant grasping creates tension within the mind, preventing it from experiencing natural ease. When attachment is softened, space is created within consciousness. In that space, understanding grows, and decisions are made with greater wisdom rather than impulsive reaction. Inner peace is the ability to remain steady through life's ups and downs, like a mountain that is unmoved by changing winds. Outer fortune is often misunderstood as something that arrives through chance, favor, or external circumstances. But in truth, it is deeply connected to the quality of the inner mind. When awareness is clouded by fear, greed, or confusion, even fortunate events may be wasted or misunderstood. Yet when the mind is clear and peaceful, even small opportunities can unfold into meaningful outcomes. This is why inner peace becomes the silent force behind what people call good fortune. A peaceful mind does not rush toward life with desperation. It observes, understands, and responds with balance. In such a state, actions become more precise and less reactive. Mistakes that usually arise from impatience or emotional disturbance begin to reduce naturally. This refinement of behavior gradually shapes external conditions, because life often reflects the state of one's inner world. Calmness brings clarity, and clarity improves direction. When the mind is disturbed, perception becomes narrow. One begins to see obstacles everywhere, and even neutral situations may feel threatening. But when inner stillness is cultivated, perception expands. Problems are no longer seen as permanent blocks, but as temporary conditions that can be worked with. This shift allows life to move more smoothly. As resistance is replaced with understanding, true fortune also arises from right relationships and wise communication. A calm mind speaks with care, listens with attention, and acts without unnecessary conflict. Such behavior naturally attracts harmony in interactions with others. What appears as luck in relationships is often the result of patience, mindfulness, and emotional balance. Outer wealth, status, or luck is temporary, but a peaceful and aware mind transforms even loss and difficulty into understanding. Much of what is called luck in life is not random at all, but the natural result of a mind that has learned to act with awareness rather than confusion. When inner peace is absent, decisions are often driven by impulse, fear, or desire. Such a state leads to unnecessary complications, as actions become scattered and reactions replace understanding. But when the mind is calm, each step is taken with clarity, and life begins to align more naturally with constructive outcomes. Inner peace allows a person to see reality without distortion. In ordinary moments, the mind tends to project past regrets or future anxieties onto the present, creating confusion. This distorted perception often leads to poor judgment, missed opportunities, or avoidable conflict. However, when awareness is steady, the present moment is seen more clearly and choices become wiser. In this way, clarity becomes a hidden form of fortune, guiding actions toward better results without force or struggle. A peaceful mind also improves patience, which is one of the quiet foundations of success. Many opportunities in life require timing, endurance, and the ability to wait without frustration. When impatience dominates, people abandon paths too early or act too quickly, losing potential outcomes. But when patience is cultivated through inner calm, actions are sustained long enough for results to mature naturally. What appears as good timing is often the product of steady presence rather than chance. Grasping and attachment are the main causes of suffering. When they are reduced, wisdom and better life decisions naturally arise. Grasping is one of the deepest roots of human suffering, and it quietly shapes what people call good or bad fortune. When the mind clings tightly to outcomes, expectations, or identities, it becomes rigid. This rigidity prevents clear seeing, because reality is always changing, while grasping tries to freeze it in place. As a result, even when life offers opportunities, they may be missed due to fear, overthinking, or resistance to change. Inner peace begins to grow when this grasping is loosened. Letting go does not mean indifference or lack of care. It means engaging with life without being enslaved by it. When attachment reduces, the mind becomes flexible, like water that adapts to any container. In this flexibility, awareness expands, and situations are no longer judged only as good or bad, but understood as temporary conditions with lessons and possibilities. Many experiences that are labeled as misfortune are often intensified by mental resistance. A situation itself may be simple, but the mind adds layers of worry, regret, or anger, turning it into suffering. When awareness is present, these layers begin to dissolve. What remains is the raw reality of the moment, which is far easier to understand and respond to. This clarity transforms how life is experienced, making even challenges less heavy. As grasping decreases, wisdom naturally increases. The mind begins to recognize patterns more clearly, make decisions with less emotional distortion, and respond rather than react. This shift creates a smoother flow in life, where fewer unnecessary obstacles are created by internal conflict. Over time, this inner alignment reflects outwardly as improved circumstances, better timing, and more harmonious interactions. Inner peace is the root, and outer fortune is the result. When mindfulness and right action are cultivated, life appears more fortunate and meaningful. Inner peace and outer fortune are not two separate destinations, but two expressions of the same inner transformation. When mindfulness becomes steady and awareness is cultivated, life begins to feel less chaotic and more meaningful. This is not because external conditions are permanently improved, but because the way they are experienced changes. Fundamentally, The mind that is stable does not interpret every event as threat or reward. Instead, it sees continuity, flow, and interconnection in all things. When mindfulness is present, even ordinary actions become intentional. Speaking, listening, working, and resting are no longer automatic reactions, but conscious choices. This quality of awareness reduces unnecessary mistakes and misunderstandings over time. Such clarity builds a foundation for smoother life experiences. What others may call good fortune often arises from this consistent presence of attention, where actions are aligned with understanding rather than confusion. A peaceful mind also develops resilience. Life inevitably includes uncertainty, change, and difficulty, but inner stability allows one to move through these experiences without being consumed by them. Instead of collapsing under pressure, the mind learns to observe conditions as they are. This observation creates space between experience and reaction, and in that space lies freedom. From this freedom, wiser decisions naturally arise. Another aspect of inner cultivation is the ability to remain balanced in both success. When success does not create arrogance and failure does not create despair, the mind remains centered. This equilibrium prevents extreme emotional swings. Stability in both gain and loss gradually shapes a life that appears more fortunate from the outside, though it is actually the result of inner training